Saturday's Open Line on the VOCM Big Land FM radio network.
Welcome back to the show. Let's go to line number 4. Karen, you're on the air.
Good morning, Patty. How are you?
Doing great today. Thanks. How about you?
Good. Just saying before I even start here now that I do appreciate the opportunity to speak for what I think are a lot of people on this island. And before I even get into what I wanted to say, I'm really asking folks to go look at Facebook pages, Protect NL. There's a Port-a-Port group. There's a Burin Peninsula group. There's a Central group talking about the issues coming to exploits. But more disturbing than that, we were, the week before last, like 4 days there in front of Confederation Building, trying to get an audience with the Premier to share our concerns. 4 days, and nobody would come out and speak to us. So the girls brainstormed and tried to come up with an idea about what will it take. And so somebody came up with the idea of, let's get a boat. So got a boat, little long liner, I think it's called, the Margot Ann, brought her and parked her in front of the building on Confederation Hill, thinking maybe the Premier will look at the window and see that, and maybe he'll reach out and ask for a meeting. No. We were there, brought the boat there on Wednesday. The girls camped out Wednesday night. Thursday, they came and said it was taking up 4 parking spaces, had to be gone. So the next thing, the Newfoundland Constabulary were called in. They took the boat and impounded it. And a little fundraiser was raised because we have no money. And we got enough, $250 to get the boat out. And so where they told us it was taking up 4 parking spots, we went down to the end of the hill and took up 1 spot, put markers out, had our people come in and say, yep, that's pretty safe. You should be good there. Next thing you know, 3 cop cars come in and 4 Newfoundland Constabulary officers with the guy from Confederation in charge of security, telling the girls the boat had to be moved. And this time they came up with the excuse it couldn't be there because it was explained to us that with recent demonstrations, they changed the criteria on who could park on the hill. And basically they said if anything could, house people, it was illegal. So he said it didn't matter if it was a boat, didn't matter if it was, a motorhome or whatever, the vehicle or the whatever you'd call it would be towed away. So sure enough, at the end of the day, when the girls were there doing a ceremony, an Indigenous ceremony, they boldly, got up on the boat and ordered them off, and they were in the middle of a ceremony, so they were trying to finish it. But they handcuffed them, charged them, put the 3 women in police cars, and to the trauma of children that were there. It's just ridiculous. So my question is, what is Fury and the rest of them afraid of? Why will they not give voice to these women? But when I putting all that aside, one needs to look at why. Why are these women even there? Because so many people have no idea what is planned for this island. 1/3 right now. 1/3 of our island is being targeted. It's going to be blasted and bulldozed and destroyed. And people think, oh my goodness, it's just windmills, little windmills.
But that's not an accurate number, though,
They don't
Karen.
understand the. Pardon me?
That's not an accurate number, though. All the same, 1/3 of the island is targeted for these turbines.
500,000 hectares. I'm in various groups that are doing research at all the applications coming in, because that's the thing about these wind turbine companies. You open up the door and there's no reining them in. So that's an issue. There aren't, so much of it land. We got people in Nova Scotia and New Brunswick, because that's what people say. Well, they're everywhere else, so people are fine with it. There are groups in New Brunswick and Nova Scotia trying to share their horror stories. We had a lady come down from Ontario who shared her nightmare that 10 years ago, when it was all the talk about approaching these farmers in Ontario, they were wined and dined and promised all these good things. Next thing, their water is contaminated. It's into the groundwater. And we got to remember that it's not just windmills here. It's the ammonia and it's the hydrogen and it's our precious fresh water. So when all this land is going to be blasted and bulldozed and the network underneath the ground, tapping everything all together, like, people need to know that in a blink, everything that we hold precious to us is going to be gone. I had a young fellow from Germany fly in one time to come visit my son, and I drove him from St. John's into central Newfoundland. He oohed and ahed, and he said repeatedly, have I died and gone to heaven? Like, I didn't think anything like this existed anywhere on the planet. To see miles and miles of just forests and rivers and ponds and lakes untouched. He said, like, do you not appreciate what you have? Don't ever let them come in and change this. This is paradise. And we got a government who is not getting the memo. Around the world, wind turbine companies are proving to be too costly, too environmentally damaging, and they need energy, the electricity to make it all work. What's our government doing provincially and federally? Rolling out the green mat, rolling out the welcome mat. Come, we've got land. We'll give you financing. You can tap into our energy grid, which is another old issue, because what's that going to do to our electricity rates? And worldwide, companies are closing. There are better, greener solutions, and that's what it is. But our government does not get the memo. In Ottawa, it's a gong show. Minister Stephen Guilbeault just exposed at setting up a company $200 million into his pocket from these green slush funds. So, like, we just want a voice.
Hold on, Karen. So you're saying that there's some sort of confirmed, documented issue where Stephen Guilbeault has personally profited to the tune of $200 million in his pocket?
He has shares in a company that was awarded a $200 million grant.
So
it's all there.
So that's not $200 million
for him. To go in.
Okay. And then the cost of wind is likely going to be a big part of the conversation if it was us building it, if it was us buying the power from wind. But of course, that's not the case here, right? So that particular issue, that's a business model concern that is more of Risley's than it is of mine at this moment in time. And insofar as needing and wanting a meeting, isn't the person that you really need to meet with John Risley?
Well, it would help if we had a government that's aware of so much troubling truths. They won't talk to us. They won't give us an opportunity. We can share them a ton of money with their research, letting them see everything that we have learned as a group collectively these last, 18 months, 24 months. We've amassed a ton of very troubling truths. From the damage, if they're going to put them offshore, what it does to the whales and to the fish, blasting the tops of mountains and the runoffs into the water. Like, everything is going to be drastically changed, and people need to know, because they don't know the extreme, intense, aggressive plans to transform this province into an industrial, in 20 years' time, when they've outlived their usefulness, and it's $1 million to take down one, and we've got thousands here, and that's by today's terms. So in 20 years' time, that $1,000 price tag per wind turbine is probably going to be $3 million.
And we're told repeatedly, and it's in the environmental assessment, exactly what where the responsibility lies for decommissioning, and it's not with us, it's with them.
Everyone will be long gone.
Well, there's things you can do to protect yourself on that front, though, right? There's all sorts of ways to address that in a contract, and the liabilities can absolutely be addressed, and they should be addressed. But
I just think that at the end of it all, like, we have an opportunity right now. If more people delved into this and learned the information, if we got a voice, I blame mainstream media so much, because they claim to be the voice of the people, and they're not letting us share all the troublesome truths that are out there, and it's not misinformation. And if we had, if we could get prime airtime and show our side of what we've uncovered, that Confederation Hill would have been, every Newfoundlander would have been on it to fight what's coming. It's terrible.
You're using some pretty prime mainstream medium real estate right now.
Well, and I appreciate your opportunity, But I mean, unfortunately, most Newfoundlanders now, they'll watch MTV and they'll watch CBC tonight for an hour, and that's their only bit of getting in on current information. We approached Ryan Cleary of NTV and asked for some airtime, and he said it ain't going to happen. So I don't, this is why we appreciate what we're doing with you guys.
Well, I can tell you right now, Karen, you're getting as many ears now as anybody's getting at 6 o'clock. So.
Well, that's comforting, and hopefully those people will listen and they'll go to those websites, those Facebook pages, and the contact information is there if they want to learn more, because Muskrat Falls, Churchill Falls, that's going to be nothing in comparison to what these wind turbines are going to do to this island.
I understand your concern, but why do you think it's necessary to add Muskrat to this? Because this is not that at all, right? It's just simply not.
It's just poor decisions, poor, and so many of us cheered on Muskrat Falls. My opinion on that is it was never managed right. Had there been not so much wastage and everything else, those costs wouldn't have gotten out of hand like they did, and it wouldn't have been so bad. But I digress. Now we're getting off topic.
No, you mentioned it.
Our entire history. Our entire history has been mistake after mistake after mistake, giveaway after giveaway after giveaway. And these wind turbines are going to top any list that ever went before it.
Karen, do you think, in all seriousness, that either Risley or any of the other proponents or the government don't understand the risks associated here?
It's all about money, Patty. It's all about money. And that's the other thing. Germany got their own wind, by the way. Why are they here? There's 3 reasons. Number one, the German government will not finance anything. There's nothing there for it. Number 2, the electricity. They won't let them tap into their electricity grid. And then the number 3 thing is worldwide growing costs and the damage to the environment. So for those reasons, they're not in Germany doing this. They're over here where they can take advantage and exploit the people of this province.
We don't even know where the market will be for the power. Because if it's Germany, you think they would have signed something beyond an MOU at this stage. And so, I mean, the German government has invested royally in wind. Royally.
Well,
so,
yeah, and if you tune in now, there's companies over there shutting down for those reasons. It's all there to be seen if you do any research at all.
Do you think
I think they're... Pardon me?
Do you think that I actually haven't done my due diligence on this stuff?
Well, so what are your thoughts on all these issues?
I think some of the concerns are exaggerated, number one. And the assertion that nobody except some Facebook groups know what's going on here is also a little bit much.
Well, hopefully the challenge is out there. But I'm going to tell you something right now. Right now on this island, like the whole Burin Peninsula, the entire Port-au-Port Peninsula, all the way down to Port-au-Basque. In our area in Central, it starts in Botwood, comes up Peters Pond, like over in New Bay area. Talks now that they're looking up around the Max Sims camp, up that area. Recently, it's not even recently to me, I learned about the Gaff Topsail, west of Badger, all the way over to Corner Brook. So, we got tourists who want to come here because of our unique beauty and the people and everything else. And everything, is going to be so compromised. We're not, our tourism industry is going to be flat. Who wants to come here and look at turbines everywhere they look? So, it cannot be underestimated, the land that's being handed on a platter, and they'll stand up in the House and they'll say, oh, we haven't given away any land. Give it, are we going to get hung up on this concept of giving away? They're going to be doing it. They're going to be destroying it. They have access to it. People are not going to be able to go berry picking. You can mark that down. There's going to be pollution from the turbines. Just so many issues with faulty materials and stuff that happened on the eastern seaboard of the U.S. And
are you talking about the maybe Nantucket where there was a complete failure of a turbine?
Exactly.
Extremely
there's
rare.
pictures. You go on the internet, there's pictures everywhere. People were not allowed to go on their beaches because of what was washing ashore.
Until they cleaned it up.
And they're saying, so there's countless, too many issues. And that temporary boom that everybody is that's another contentious issue because already right now in other parts of the world, they're holding job camps to bring in foreign workers. You know, they came in here probably 4 years ago, companies, targeted to the indigenous group, targeted the town councils, targeted the government officials, promised the moon, wined and dined. We're hearing, you know, trips were had.
What's this about?
Gave them the inside scoop, and so that right now, councillors and government officials have personal interests. It's a conflict of interest as far as I'm concerned, because they're already buying land and looking down the road at what's coming and where they can make a dollar.
I'm not sure what that means, to be honest, as it pertains to wind. Anyway, I appreciate the call, Karen. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. And like I said, people, please go to those Facebook pages and learn some more.
Thank you. Okay, there we go. Let's take a break for the news.